I make VTuber models, and making a human model is exhausting. So this one was very different. The model I am making is a slime VTuber. At first, it wasn't easy to grasp this concept for me. My first attempt looks like a football. My second attempt, there's a little bit more shape, we're getting there. And then this is the final attempt. Biggest aspect is that it needs depth. It needs very clear highlights and shadows. Add in all your shinies, it looking like it's melted at the bottom, or when it's scared at the top, it spikes up all the slime. So the biggest thing that helped me was creating a white outline against everything that has an edge to it, and making some of the highlights go from having a hard edge to a soft edge. I also had to practice making a stone. This slime VTuber has a stone within them. I'm very excited to make this gem look like it's floating around within the slime VTuber. Now we just need to import it into Live 2D and start animating it. After creating my video on the phone stand, I got a couple of you asking questions on facial tracking, what apps do I use? Main app I use is VTube Studio. If you want to use it just on your phone, all you have to do is download the VTube Studio app, have your VTuber model in there. The facial tracking will work automatically, so you are all set. I like to set it up where my phone is tracking my face and it's sending the information over to my PC. You can do this in two ways. You can have your facial tracking all within VTube Studio, meaning you use the application and then the PC application as well. To set that up, you need to go to your settings page. When you first open up the VTube Studio app on your phone, there will be nothing on the IP section. So what you want to do, go to your PC, click on Show IP List, make them match, make the port match, and then click on Connect to your PC. Make sure the status bubble is green. That means your connection is working. In case it still doesn't look like it works, get out of the settings, click on the very first circle with the camera. It should start working. For me, this worked for a lot of my models, but for this one in particular, I rigged it for V-Bridger only. My teeth do not move when I'm using VTube Studio tracking because they are rigged to the jaw movement captured in V-Bridger. Most of you do not need to worry about V-Bridger. V-Bridger is an application that costs $10 on Steam, $5 for iFacial mocap. Do you want to give your VTuber some scenic lighting like this? First step, you want to double click and these pop up. Click on the settings gear button. Click that third option at the top. Click the last option here, Customize Model, and select the Customize Scene Lighting for Art Meshes. Now you can go through and select the items that you want to change. Let's say I want to change this middle. I don't want it to be affected by the lighting. I'll move it to 0. But if I do, I'll move it to 1. You can also put it in the middle. For things like the eyes, I want them to glow, so I would put all my little eye ones at 0. That's not all. That's just how you set up what you want affected by the light. To actually create scene lighting, in your options, click the second one. It looks like a camera. You can scroll down to display lighting, hit this button, select my screen. I choose VTube Studio. If you don't want it to be too dark, maybe it's over here. I brighten it up. Usually I like it around 33. It even selected a color to kind of give it a matching hue to my background. These are some of the biggest mistakes that you are making that is costing you sound quality. And I say that as someone that has made these mistakes. When I was first starting out, I thought expensive is surely better quality. Boy, was I wrong. More important than anything is understanding your mic and how you can improve it no matter which one you had. I was using a Blue Yeti. This is an over $100 mic, and my quality was so bad. Something that I wish I had known back then was using a pop filter on that Yeti was really going to change the quality of the mic. My friend, she even put a sock over it. That sock helps suppress the plosives that, if you're like me, drive you crazy. But for that reason, I do recommend mics that are at similar price points that come with all of that together, which moves on to my next point. Do not be afraid to buy a mic that is a very budget mic. From my last review, I've heard so many of you talk about your $30 mics being a game changer. I say this as a warning because I bought mics thinking pricier was more quality. I then was disappointed. My next point is understanding the difference between condenser and dynamic mics. Condenser mics pick up volume from everywhere. It's around the room, so that's great for people that are playing instruments. But for dynamic mics, it specifically picks up thing that's right in front of the mic. Podcasting, voice acting, and singing. The last thing is using these filters that you have in your software program. But not just the ones that are built into the software. There are additional plugins that you can get that can really up that quality. What is the better streaming platform, YouTube or Twitch? Now, unfortunately, I don't have the power to peer into the future. Just kidding. Of course we have that power. It is more important for you to make this decision. Ask yourself, how do you want to grow? What do you value in streaming? And how can this streaming platform get me to my goals? As we know, YouTube was not made to be a streaming platform. They prioritize uploaded posts. However, streamers can still utilize this as an advantage. Once your video becomes a VOD, it will continue to be promoted even months after you've already had that stream. My first ever YouTube stream was in January, where it got 200 impressions and 20 views. Since that day, it has garnered 1.7k impressions and 120 more views. This means it was showed on people's homepages or searches. Now, this is a big deal because you can have a lot of offline growth. That is something that I value a lot because I don't have the time to stream as often as other people. Growing on Twitch was very, very hard for me. Twitch is made for live streaming. That means your VODs aren't really seen as something to push out into like the homepage or search functions. More importantly, it is live streaming. And that focus comes with so many perks for streamers, such as channel point redeems, great ways to engage with your chat, and Twitch's UI is really helpful for viewers to find the exact category they want to stream and maybe try out a new streamer. That doesn't mean discoverability isn't possible on YouTube, it's just in a different format, which I believe are shorts. Now there's other things like policies and monetization, but I've dragged on enough and I know I'm losing you. So I'll pass that question back to you. Based on your experience, how can I use the model that you are using right now? This is called the Mo model, made by Sakurai Mon, and there's a big update. First, you will go on their Twitter and you will see two different options. This first tweet, March 21st, is their paid model. So this one comes with 200 customizable options. It is guaranteed to get all the future updates. This microphone is exclusive to the paid one. So you click on that one, then you can see all the payment options. I will be choosing the last one because that guarantees all the future updates. But if you click on the second link, February 2nd, you will see their free versions that are still available as of right now. The Cumination site. If you are not on this site, then you are not on the free model site. So you want to scroll down and look for the Google Drive, and then you click that. You will see all these files, but all you'll need is this 1.3.3 Mo version zip file. You click the three dots on the side, click download. May prompt you this, click download anyway. Then you double click and you extract the files to wherever you want. Remember where you put it, we'll need it later. Open up VTube Studios, hit the settings gear button, then you're going to hit open data folder and it'll open up the file that you need. Click Live 2D models and create a Sakurai Mon folder. And then you can put all the files that you downloaded earlier into this new folder. Since I already made it, all I have to do is replace the files. So you will not have that folder if it is your first time doing it. You just create it. Now you can relaunch VTube Studio and you will see the Mo right there. I had to recreate my hotkeys, but other than that, my expressions are still there and you should be done. And that's how you get the Mo model. Yeah, this is how you download the Mo model. First, we go to Sakurai Mon's Twitter. Scroll down to see the update and we're going to click on this link. Once you are there, scroll to see the Google Drive download link. Read the terms and services. The 1.2 zip file is what we want to download. You also want to download this if this is your first time downloading Mo. Extract the zip and make sure the JSON's also in this folder. You need VTube Studios. You can use VBridger for better facial tracking, but not necessary. In VTube Studio settings, you will find the Open Data folder. Click that and click Live 2D Model. Create a new folder and put everything in it, everything you downloaded. Restart VTube Studio and you will find the Mo model. And we're done. Hi streamers, hi content creators, for any karaoke enjoyers. You want to know how to add a reverb or an autotune effect for your karaoke streams. You can use Voice Mod or the Tao plugin. Tao software has a bunch of plugins you can use for your stream. Specifically want to use the Tao Reverb 4. Here is where you can download it for the system that you need. For Voice Mod, there's this tutorial on how to make a sort of auto-tune effect. The voice tune is like an auto-tune, so you can use it. Personally, I probably would just use the reverb. Hi streamers! I have an asset for you if you want to do a stream involving karaoke or a stage. This works for absolutely anyone, even if you just want to use it as a green screen background. Stage asset is created by Oo Ricos. You can get it on their Coffee page. It is free or you can tip. I use this for my chippy animation. I added these green screen spotlights to just give it a little bit more of a dynamic. I noticed that there was a question that continuously popped up on my TikTok. Put it on the YouTube channel, and if you ever want it, it is right there, and it's gonna have timestamps as well. So this video goes over how to set up your expressions, customize the model, and how to have these pop-ups. Do you want to send your VTuber model over to your phone or iPad, any other device? Let's talk about that. So the first step is to connect your device to your PC and allow file sharing. Whenever you want details on how to import your model, select here, click import your own model, and you want to go down this path. I'll show you an example with an Android. See, the path is different for this device, so check yours. So we clicked Android, then data, then this, then files, and now we go to Live 2D models. Drag your VTuber model files into the Live 2D models folder. This was the path for the Android, but you can check VTube Studio on how to do it on your device. Now you can open up the models and see your own VTuber. How do you become a VTuber? You can be 2D, 3D, PNG, or a GIF tuber. I also have a YouTube video that goes over it in more detail. 3D VTubing is what a lot of people like to use because not only is it affordable, as in free, you are able to customize your model right then and there. Vroid, Reality app, and there are other apps out there. I think HyperX Online is another one. You do need an iPhone for best facial tracking. You can customize your own Vroid model. And if you don't want to do it yourself, Booth.pm has a lot of free Vroid options. Also affordable if you want to spend a little bit more and have a very nice little detail on maybe hair texture or clothes texture. See, this is so cute. And you don't need art skills or money, really. It's just an easy entry. Can we use the Atsuyani model for streaming or TikToks? The answer is yes. You can find this model on Etsy for $25. So let's see how we actually found the answer to this question. This is an awesome question. Most VTuber artists will either have it in their comms page or they will have it in their description. Here we can go scroll down and it says permissions able to use for monetized stream and video content includes TikTok. They just ask you to credit them in your Twitch panels, which is a practice that we always want to do for artists. Having trouble customizing your VTuber model? Go over it. First, we want to click the settings button, this fourth button right here. Then we want to hit expression editor, create a new expression, add a name, go to filter, or personally, I would just go through these. But if you don't like something, you want to go back to the default, just click off. This is kind of like faded away opacity. Go to the greatest value, 2. Some of these are important to not touch. These at the very bottom, I would not mess around with as it says that's all. You can also have special expressions. When we have one item toggled, after you are done creating those, hit expression editor, create new hotkeys for all unused expressions. This is how you want to have it set. Set, unset, and whatever the name of the expression is. You can hit here record, press the key that you want to toggle, and that'll turn it on and off. I have my model ready. Boom! Idea. Hi, so you've created your expression, but it's not showing up. Why is that? I've gotten this question a few times, so we're gonna go over it right now. Let's head over to the expressions. You want to hit settings, go to play button. Let's say your character looks like this too, okay? We want to hit this plus button at the bottom. And from here, we're going to set up our hotkey. Name it nice. So hotkey action, set unset expression. Then we are going to select our expression name. Let's say mine was cool. Whatever you saved your expression as, that's what we're going to choose the expression for. And just for testing purposes to see that it works, let's record our key. We're going to hit this record button. Then we're going to hit the key that we want to be the hotkey. Ready? Let's see the magic happen. And ta-da! You are set. I hope that helps. If you were having trouble with this, other questions, leave them down below. Sure, let's go over expressions and customization. I do have a playlist called VTuber and Streamers Tips to answer a lot of these questions. First, we want to click the settings button, this fourth button right here. Then we want to hit expression editor, create a new expression, add a name, go to filter, or personally, I would just go through these. But if you don't like something, you want to go back to the default, just click off. This is kind of like faded away opacity. Go to the greatest value, 2. Some of these are important to not touch. These at the very bottom, I would not mess around with as it says that's all. You can also have special expressions. When we have one item toggled, after you are done creating those, hit expression editor, create new hotkeys for all unused expressions. This is how you want to have it set. Set, unset, and whatever the name of the expression is. You can hit here record, press the key that you want to toggle, and that'll turn it on and off. I have my model ready. Boom! Idea. YouTube has just changed the game for streaming. Now, if you're someone who's looking for a new streaming platform or somewhere to multi-stream, YouTube really made it easier for you to get paid. Before, to enter the YouTube Partner Program, you needed 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, or 10 million short views in the last 90 days, and this is only for AdSense. I do not know who they thought we were. But YouTube has realized something, that the streamers of YouTube are bringing in good money. So they have lowered the conditions for being able to get super thanks, super chats, super stickers, and channel memberships. What are these things even good for? They're good for streamers. So with channel memberships, you can get badges and emotes. It is basically like being a Twitch affiliate. And you can have all this by having 500 subscribers, 3 public uploads in the last 90 days, 3,000 watch hours in the past year. If you post shorts, you will get to that 500 much faster. So what do you think? Do you think YouTube is heading the right direction for creating a better streaming platform? Or do you think that it's still lacking too much? Hi, so you've created your expression, but it's not showing up. Why is that? Mobile edition. I've gotten this question a few times, so we're gonna go over it right now. Setting up your expressions is a little different on mobile and iPad. So first we want to go to settings, click the 4th button, and here you go, create a new expression. Very simple, toggle on any items that you want, name it and save it. Now we will focus on hotkeys. Scroll to the very bottom. You can see we already have some hotkeys set up. We will name it. Then we will click Hotkey Action and click Set Unset Expression. Then for expression, select the name that you saved your previous expression. Then add Screen Button Hotkey, you can select the number. Make sure Use Screen Button Hotkeys is toggled on. And if you see those circles on the right of the screen, that's what I'm clicking to make these expressions come up. Hi, you're kind of right. It was pretty complicated. I was covering details just in case people had issues in the future, so we can do a more bare bones tutorial on how to set VTuber expressions. Click Settings, click this play button, Expression Editor, create new expression, name, toggle on, and then you click Save. Go down to Add, name it, click Hotkey Action, Set and Unset Expression, select your expression, record the key you like, and you are done. Hi, I don't know many voice applications that can change your voice. However, I do know one called Voice Mod. You only get a certain amount free, and they do swap out, so you eventually can try a lot of them. If you are going to buy the Pro version, it does go on sale and sometimes very, very cheap. So definitely wait for a good sale.
Let's try some out.
You can sound like a minion.
Hello! Reliving that awkward moment when everyone's singing to you happy birthday. I have the Pro version, so if you guys have requests, just let me know and I'll try them out.
I can also take them live on YouTube.
Are there male VTuber pre-made models? On Etsy, I did find this really great creator. Rika Arts on Etsy has these 2 models. One's 30, one's 20. Let's take a look at the $30 one. The $30 comes with a lot of emotions: happy, dark forehead, sad, angry, cheek puffs, sparkly eyes, and hard eyes. Then it has different toggles, so you can take off the jacket. You have wings, horns, necklace, earrings, shirt patterns, differences, and the colors are all changeable, so you can design it any way that you'd like. $20 one comes with ear, tail, tie. You can get gaming hands as well, and the same number of emotes, so you can still have all these. Reika Arts has a lot of models to offer. Here's a chibi one too, so I checked them out. Hi, so the base model will never change. This is the base model, but you can do things to make it work for yourself. I'll show you how I played around with it. I'll be focusing mainly on customizing the hair, since there are some things you can do with the eyes and accessories, but you can't do much with clothing. This is the shortest you can have it with the back, but you can also take the back completely off. There's still things that you can play around with to get the own type of hair that you would like. You have full control over how long you make these bangs up front. DeliCVT on TikTok has also created a video on free or affordable male VTuber models. As an example, if you type in booth.pm A1 Live 2D VTube Studio, you can find this model. It's completely free, not as customizable though. How to be a VTuber, PNG Tuber edition. It is so much easier than you think. I honestly would recommend this one if not going the 3D model route for your first steps on becoming a VTuber. I also have a YouTube video that goes over it in more detail. This video is mainly focusing on how to make your own PNG tuber. These are some of my old ones. But in a future video, we can go over how to become a PNG tuber without drawing it yourself and how to set it up. If you are doing PNG tubing and you want to use VTube Mini, it kind of makes it already a GIF and you don't even have to do like a frame animation for yourself. So I really recommend that if you're making your own. And all you will need for VTube Mini is a open eyes, mouth close, open eyes, mouth open, close eyes, mouth open, and close mouth, close eyes. Does that make sense? Okay, well, that's basically it. But if you're creating a GIF, you can just do that on your own and make it move like this. Yeah, nice, nice, nice. By the way, if you are a Live 2D artist, you can animate this on Live 2D, which is really cool. Since I am a Live 2D artist, I'm going to make this a complete GIF, and I am going to be making it move like this when it's angry. Choo 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 choo, but more pretty and looking 3D like. And there's again options on Etsy for affordable PNG tubers. 2D VTuber app. People who use PRPR Live say that it works more fluidly. VTube Studio is the one I use because I like connecting it to VBridger. VBridger gives me optimal facial tracking. Not all VTuber models have this type of facial tracking. The great thing about VTube Studio is it does come with free assets and free models. Also, it's great at working with developers so we can have cool plugins like this throwable items. For example, chat can throw at you a bunch of Valentines. This costs $15 on probably Nim's Coffee. Let me know if you like PRPR Live or if you like YouTube Studio more. YouTube Shorts are the best and fastest way to get subscribers on your YouTube channel. Discoverability in YouTube is not easy when you are a small creator. So how do you start getting that discoverability? Shorts are basically like TikTok. There are For You pages. Push out your content to new people. If you're not getting good views on Shorts, do not give up on it. I swear I went from having 2 views to now 1,000 views, but that was through consistencies and just biting the bullet and being like, I'm just gonna stick through it till it works. I literally download my videos off of TikTok and just post it on YouTube. One of my best viewed videos has that TikTok tag. So you don't even have to get it without the watermark. Some other content you can put on your shorts are streaming clips, series videos. If you're an artist, doing progress videos with music in the background always works for me. I would also experiment from long shorts versus short shorts. All in all to say, exploration is the key. Do you guys have any experience on shorts? What do you think of it? Very true. Setting up your expressions is different on mobile versus PC. So let's go over it right now. By the way, if you're a VTuber fan and want VTuber tips, I have a YouTube channel. So first we want to go to settings, click the 4th button, and here you go, create a new expression. Very simple, toggle on any items that you want, name it and save it. Now we will focus on hotkeys. Scroll to the very bottom. You can see we already have some hotkeys set up. We will name it. Then we will click hotkey action and click set unset expression. Then for expression, select the name that you saved your previous expression. Then add screen button hotkey, you can select the number. Make sure use screen button hotkeys is toggled on. And if you see those circles on the right of the screen, that's what I'm clicking to make these expressions come up. You having trouble customizing your VTuber model? Go over it. First, we want to click the settings button, this 4th button right here. Then we want to hit expression editor, create a new expression, add a name, go to filter, or personally, I would just go through these. But if you don't like something, you want to go back to the default, just click off. This is kind of like faded away opacity. Go to the greatest value 2. Some of these are important to not touch. These at the very bottom, I would not mess around with as it says that's all. You can also have special expressions. When we have one item toggled, after you are done creating those, hit expression editor, create new hotkeys for all unused expressions. This is how you want to have it set. Set, unset, and whatever the name of the expression is. You can hit here record, press the key that you want to toggle, and that'll turn it on and off. I have my model ready. Boom! Idea! You can learn a lot about a character through their design. Are they shy? Are they extroverted? A good design captivates those qualities. So how can we make a good design? Well, let's look at design experts, Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact has a new Fontaine world that features French clothing, and to examine them, we are going to be making them into VTuber models in the span of 3 days. And our test subjects are the characters that love theatrics the most in the Fontaine world, Lenny and Volsalor. Here's what I learned. Volsalor has 3 elements to her. She loves the courtroom, she thinks of the courtroom as a stage, and she has a big, great sense of self. To capture a sophisticated look like the officials in the courtroom, she wears a suit. But for her love of the theatrics, the suit is adorned with various ribbons and frills that pop out. As for her great sense of self, they gave her eyelashes that resemble the tip of a crown. Her theatrics don't end there. Both her and Lenny have the symbolism of a teardrop. This teardrop symbol is reminiscent to the comedy and tragedy mask. Her vessel, named Farina, has this very cute wavy bob. Wrong! It's not a bob at all! She has a jellyfish cut! But that's really neat because this whole world is about exploring the ocean, so it just kind of calls back to the sea creatures. As for Lenny, I made him into merch. Yep, something about him screams puppeteer, and so now he's stuck as a plushie forever. I'll be making them move around as the series continues. If you'd like to stick around, you may see a free Lenny available to download in the future. Are you someone that wants to have a more expressive mouth for your VTuber? Now there's a lot of things you can do. First, syncing your audio to your VTuber model. I have been lazy and you can see in all my videos, my audio was not synced. But I finally took the 2 seconds to watch Just Novesh's
Sync your audio to your VTuber model mouth video.
and it's working. And it was easy as pie. It took me like 20 seconds to set it up. Basically, what you want to do is go to your advanced audio properties and then look at sync offset and play around with the settings for your mic and possibly your desktop audio. But I would highly recommend checking out Just Novesh's video. It goes in depth and you will get a lot of value from it. Another thing you can do as a VTuber is check your settings. Sometimes even if you get a deliverable, it's still good to make sure that some of these settings are matching up to how your face works. If your rigger already set up your setting, make sure to take a screenshot if you're going to change anything so that you know the exact inputs you're changing and you can always go back to what was given to you initially. For example, my mouth open is at 0.08. My funnel was also at 0.08, and so when I did this, I'm trying to use mouth X and now it's pretending to be open, but it shouldn't be. Perfect. My mouth is closed. So now funnel will hit at a certain point and it makes it look more realistic when I'm talking as well. The funnel is coming in right as it should be. Now for those who don't have VBridger, mouth open I have also changed because when I smile, I hit the 0.5. If I had to go all the way to 1, you would never see me smile. So it's good to use this little indicator to see where your mouth really lands. There's a very important reason why you should think about putting the best elements of your VTuber model here where people can see it. Truth is, most of your time on screen is going to be with this view. Because when you're playing games, when you're talking to chat, it would be pretty hard to see your VTuber's expressions or their details if you had them standing this far away. So even though my model was originally supposed to kind of give a spooky vibe with the little ghost eyes, yeah, when would they see that? My only composition of fire, which is also the element to this, is on this sleeve. And I've worked with a VTuber model artist before. I should know better. Even then, I was like, hey, can we add these cool things on her thighs? And they were like, yeah, how about we bring it up? Because it's just not gonna be seen very often. And yet, when I got to design my own model, this is where I am. So let's do a test. What can we see on our models from this view? I'll give you a second. Time's up. I'll go first. The ears, the blue and the red, the color scheme. I can already see Nintendo's cease and desist coming out soon. Hey, if you need a VTuber mascot. Do you know there's a way to add a bunch of new VTube Studio items straight from VTube Studio? You too can look like this. To get started, you want to click twice on your VTube Studio and it should bring up these items. Some of the items I showed in my last video, like the little bird, comes from the Steam shop. Make sure to do this off stream. Sometimes it shows your Steam name, and if you want to hide that, be careful. Click this little cloud button. Click on download item. Click on search. You can see this is where I got Bongo Cat, Parrot Peachy. You even get Among Us. That's new. I haven't seen that one. There's so many cute items that you can add to your item list by going and downloading it from the Steam Workshop. Very simple. You just hit on download and then it'll come up and yeah, you have a whole bunch of new items. Always check the description. It will tell you if it's okay to use on stream or pin to model. I'm going to share this game controller. Look, when it smiles, it turns green. When I'm angry, it turns red. It's by Red Robin if you want it. They can make for some fun channel point redeems. Here is 3 simple ways you can set up your PNG tuber to have more expressive movements. I go over this all on my YouTube channel, how to set up your PNG tuber all the way to streaming with it using all one app. If you're interested in that, feel free to check that out. Otherwise, the first step we're going to do is creating more interesting mouth forms. A PNG tuber typically has 2 different times its mouth is open, when its eyes are open and when they are closed. So during times like that, I do different mouth forms when it is open and closed, like this. If you use a GIF, it's always especially helpful to do this. However, it does work nicely if you use VideoTube Mini or Prism Live Studio. Another way is by changing the position of the hair. Maybe you make it go up when it's talking. You can also maybe make the clothes look like it's puffing up and maybe breathing. I also like to use the blinking effect to make this little irritation bubble shrink up and down. And the last one is if you use an application that gives movement to your VTuber, when it talks, you can make it jump up and down. Or my favorite is that when it is crying, you can make it shake. I bring the question back to you. How do you make your PNG tuber look a little bit more interesting? TikTok may be getting banned, but maybe you're one of the people that was curious on how to go live on TikTok without using your phone. This is how you can do that. First, you'll need Windows. Since it doesn't look like they support Mac, sign into TikTok on your desktop and then go to Profile Pic, go down to Live Studio. This is the software that you use to go live. Typically, if you're able to go live, this will show up. At a minimum, you'll need 1,000 followers. At the very bottom here, you can also see a bunch of frequently asked questions. If you don't see this, go to Live Creator Hub and then go to How Live Works. Click on option 1, go live from your desktop computer with Live Studio today. Here, it'll explain what you need to be able to apply for this. And there's a TikTok Live Studio application. When you have it downloaded, they'll ask you to sign in to your TikTok and you can just add the sources that you need. Really, it'll be your game capture if you have a game to play, your camera. You can use VTube Studio Cam if you're a VTuber, your alerts. Anywhere you see a toggle is things that you can change. This will work for setting up your microphone. You can hit go live and that'll help you put a title, a topic, and you're ready to go. In my next video, I will go over TikTok Live Studio in further detail. Please press a follow if you are interested in that. I make my own VTuber models, and recently I've been getting a lot of questions by those who aspire to also make their own. Questions like, how do you get started? What program do you use? When you make your model, it starts with 2 steps. Making the art and then making the rig. And the art is not like any normal art you see. Everything is on its own layer, so you need to make it with something that transports those layers, like a PSD with layers file. Live 2D is where you animate it. It is a program that has a free version with less functionality and a paid version. They also have a free trial so that you can use all the functionalities. The free trial is available for 42 days. What I recommend before you even look at the free trial is finish the art and watch some videos on Live 2D so that when you open up the program, it's not too intimidating and you close it out like I did for the first week. I personally recommend also having a simple head to rig so that you can learn the basics. It doesn't even have to be pretty. I did a simple cat head. It was less overwhelming. Don't knock yourself down if you don't like what you did the first time. It's a skill. Skills are something to be worked on. You will constantly improve the more you do it. This outfit's cute, but you know what it needs? Gloves. How can I give my VTuber gloves all within the VTube Studio app? Made a video on this and it's over on YouTube, but to put it simply, settings I have customized multiply screen color for art meshes. In settings I can change the hand to whatever I want. I cut it up like this. I don't think you'll have as many fingers or problems, but for me, that's the case. Maybe we want something more sheer. It's Mickey Mouse gloves. What do you guys think of this one? Every single time I started creating a VTuber model, I did it with intention of learning something new. My first model was a cat head. All it was like this, and it would just blink, and it had different emotion toggles. My second one, it was a chibi model because I wasn't confident that I could make a full model, and I hated the mirror tool. I wanted to do it in this type of angle. I learned that I will never do a 3/4 model again, and I will use the mirror tool, which I was very resistant to. My third model was on complex design and idle animations. At the time, I didn't start streaming yet. She was sitting on a bubble. She had like monster arms. She took up so much space, so I had to keep removing things. At that point, what was the point of her design? After learning from all of those, I created this model where I focused on making it customizable. Oh, that was a mess. I really wanted the face to look very expressive and alive. I don't know if I achieved that, but I do think I improved a lot from my old facial expressions. And there's still more to go. I still have to make an angry toggle. So if you're creating your own VTuber model and you're like, why can't I just get there? Give it time. Each model, you're going to learn something very, very neat. How can you get such good tracking that even when your VTuber model is chewing, it exposes you? I've had this in my drafts for a while now, but I kept overcomplicating it, so I'm gonna dumb it down to a way that I like to explain it. VBridger uses an AR kit, which is very famously used for a lot of 3D models, which allows for jaw tracking and all of these other fun little things. A lot of it has to do with the mouth. However, even my eyebrows show more expression without having to switch from one toggle to another. I'm going to show 3 examples. The one at the top is using VTube Studio. The one at the bottom is using VBridger. Both examples have normal mouth rigging, no additional VBridger parameters. To get it completely optimized, you have to make new parameters such as funnel, mouth pucker. We are both using VBridger tracking. Also, there's a difference in style, so it's hard to judge. I would say VBridger is more of a luxury item because it is not free. You need to pay $10 for it and then need to have it on your phone, iFacial mocap. You can also get the free webcam version. If you make your own VTubers, you're saving yourself a couple $100 because usually it is an add-on, not something that riggers do by default. The reason it costs more is because it's adding all these new parameters. YouTube has just made content creators' lives way easier with these two new features. The first one is they are allowing you to erase a song that has been copyrighted claimed while keeping the other sounds, your voice. Before, you would have to replace the song and it would cover your audio, trim it out, or dispute it. This saves creator from having to re-upload or maybe just have to scrap that whole video out. I'm curious to see how this is going to work in action. Is it going to be really that accurate? The second feature they brought in is thumbnail comparison test report. I think as a creator, it is so important to create different types of thumbnails and test which one works better. I have been doing that on my own without this feature. Now YouTube lets you upload multiple thumbnails and they will run a test report themselves on which one is better using watch time share. At the end, you can choose which thumbnail you'd like to set. You can continue to do this even on old videos. I started testing one of my other videos and was surprised to find that my first thumbnail actually works better than any other thumbnail I did after. What features would you like to see YouTube implement? I want to use VTube Studio, but with my laptop camera. I have no idea if it's free or not. Down here, it says webcam DLC purchase. Thank you for your support. Now I'm confused. I was under the impression it's free. If you know something about it, let me know in the comments. This is a very simple process. Double click VTube Studio, then click on the settings wheel. Click on the camera up here. Now, I don't have a camera, so nothing's gonna show up here, but you just choose your camera. You can try out different tracking qualities, see which one works for you. NVIDIA broadcast trackers, if you have this, makes your tracking a little better. It is free. You can have it only for face tracking or hand tracking as well. Most models don't have hand tracking as part of their model. That is a very special and rare thing. Is there a way to have a model that doesn't track my body, like a stationary model that also looks good and can change expressions when I press a button? Honestly, reading this, it sounded more like a PNG tuber. There are so many amazing PNG tubers out there that are very expressive and very creative. I will say that a 2D VTuber model does not track your body. It is tracking your face. And because we put animation into the rest of the body, when I move one way, so does my body, but it's not tracking. There's some VTuber models that are only moving from the waist up. A while ago, I did see on Twitter that people were asking the question of like, would you be interested in head rigging, which would be great for both people that are commissioning the art as well as the person making the art. They are saving time, not having to rig the entire model, and the commissioners get another option that is going to cost less than a full body or a half body model. I think the greatest appeal of a VTuber that we're able to still like kind of show our live reactions with the face while still having the anonymity of not being face cammers. Face rigging options would be amazing, and I like the line of thinking you're going. Short answer, I would look into PNG tubing. There are some riggers out there that only do head model rigging, so maybe that'll be helpful, but no body tracking. So if you're worried about like not having the equipment for body tracking, don't be worried. All this is tracking my face. Is this really the best budget mic for streamers? I was on the hunt for a mic that's under $100, but it's going to be great for singing, for podcasting, for ASMR if I want to, and of course, for streaming. Am I delusional for thinking that I can find something like this? Yes. Is that gonna stop me? Nah. I trusted good old YouTube and good old TikTok for their recommendation, and I saw the Fifine AM8 everywhere. Staying on brand with my delusions, I decided to email Fifine, and how did they respond? By sending over the mic for us to try. Now, living up to what this fancy little box likes to say, it does have beautiful RGB lights which you can change on the mic. It has a quick mute button that lights up red or green, which personally I think is essential for streamers who will definitely forget that they are on mute. It has a gain knob and a headphone on, but none of that is what I personally love about this mic. I didn't realize how important it is to have a mic that's upgradable. This Fifine mic has XLR and USB connection. But what does that mean? You can get a mixer in the future and still use this mic. You won't have to go out there and completely buy a new one. I really like the sound of it. I think it's very crisp. The foam is so thick as well, so it really suppresses all the hard P's and S's. I'm actually a little upset with Vfine because I like this mic more than my $150 mic. And that's just something you never want to experience. But it did show me that something that is more expensive does not guarantee better quality. And you have been listening to it this entire time. So how would you answer the question? When you have a white or pink PC setup, it can be the hardest thing to find a microphone or a boom arm that matches up with your setup. For example, a while back, I made a video on Vfine AM8, and there were some of you that were interested in the mic, but the fact that it didn't come in white or pink at the time made it a no. Honestly, completely valid, because now companies are listening, which leads to having some great news. Vfine has come out with a white or pink mic. It's so cute. To summarize my review of the AM8, one of the best components is that it has USB and XLR capability. So right now, I don't have a mixer, but that's okay. If I get one in the future, I can still use this mic. I don't have to buy a mixer and a new mic. It has loads of RGB options, but you can also turn it off. I really like the sound of it. You're listening to it right now, so feel free to judge it for yourself. This is around the $50 price point. It's a really great starting mic, and honestly, I liked it better than my more expensive one. Though I do wish I had a chance to have the white mic, but that's okay. You guys are the lucky ducks now. Some of you were having trouble finding it, so I linked it in my bio for easy access. However, if you don't want to use that, here's the name of it. Feel free to do whichever one works for you. Anyway, this is a win for the white and pink setup. You excited that companies are finally listening to us? This is a new budget mixer released by Vfine called the Amplagame SC3, a first-generation mixer that comes with a USB-A and USB-C compatibility, so you can hook this up to your phone, your MacBook, iPad, even your PlayStation, providing a wider range on how to use your XLR mic or headset. Yep, it is also compatible with your headset. Now there's a total of 12 buttons on this mixer, but my favorite one is what you can do with your voice. You have auto-tune options, hello, and you have a voice changer.
I basically sound like a chipmunk.
And in Vfine's classic style, it does come with RGB and different settings for your RGB, but you can also turn it off. The lines, ins and outs that are provided are also all you will need for a dual PC setup. The faders have a good friction, so you're not going to just slide them all over the place. Now it is usually in the $50 price range, but right now in some locations, it has a discount. Some of the Vfine mics that are fantastic with this mixer are the K669D and C, the K688, and the AM8. And since I have the AM8, Vfine reached out for us to test the AM8 with its most compatible mixer. I will have a full review of it on YouTube, but in my next video, which will be up right away, we'll test out all the voice effects. This is their first generation mixer. So I've been seeing a trend with Vfine getting more involved with XLR. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to keep going that direction. I'm very excited to see what Vfine comes up with next. I am not a fan of the traditional boomer mics. When I would look at them, I thought they were clunky. They always seemed like they were going to take up a lot of desk space, and I have shelves right next to me. So before I discovered the low profile boomer, I used to put my Aquaphor and then my mic on top of it. You can even see it in my old mic review videos. But Vfine came in as my savior, gifted the boom arm BM88W, and I can officially put the Aquaphor away. This mic extends to 29 inches and it has 220 degrees vertically, 360 horizontally. This makes the mobility such a dream. Now, if I want to stand up for karaoke, I can just move it up instead of having to stack it up on a bunch of things. A concern of mine was that my desk is pretty thin, so I really wanted to make sure it wasn't going to be too heavy. And it was not. It's less than 3 pounds, but still super sturdy. It holds up my mic with no problem. The clamp is designed for desks that are 0.8 to 2.4 inches. Cable management is so good. It looks really nice when you can get it unclamped, but unfortunately for me, I did have trouble with the second one, so I'm going to try again tomorrow. And of course, my favorite thing about it is that that it easily fits right under the shelf. I already don't put anything under there because like what am I going to put over there? I just am so excited that that space is being used for something that would not be possible if it wasn't specifically in the low profile style. I have been using High Ground's keyboard for a week now. This is their 65% keyboard. It is gorgeous, sounds so nice right out of the box. I have two keyboards, one having function keys and this 65% that does not. Here's the difference between the spacebar. And this is with a silent switch. Now listen to this one. So much nicer, so much less clanky. And I think a part of it has to do with the build. The board is also transparent. So with it being transparent, you can see it light up your entire keyboard. If you want your keyboard to be blue, if you want it to be red, it's red. It changes the whole theme of it. This keyboard is made to be compact because there's only 65 keys in it. You have your arrow keys, your delete, page up, page down. So if you're someone that wants desk space but also really wants arrow keys, this is the type of keyboard you're looking for. So I don't know what magic they did because usually I get tired of playing games, but it doesn't hurt my wrist. I feel like High Ground does a great job focusing their efforts on making great keyboards. It is no wonder why they have the popularity they do. This Twitch feature has made me debate on whether I should be more active on their platform. I've been streaming on TikTok and YouTube, both platforms that require you to either sub or have a membership in order to use the emotes. Because I've been away from Twitch, I haven't seen there are free emotes that we can give out for just following the user. This is so nice because people that are part of your community that maybe can't afford it, especially with the new prices and subs, can now be able to use some of your emotes, especially friendly ones. Let's say you have a high emote. Well, that will be perfect for one of the free emote slots. Raid emotes are also fantastic for them. I think it's a really nice way to be able to build up your community and give options to people. I also love the animated emotes. I hope that other platforms may do something similar, and while their added channel points would also be a dream to just have integrated within the other streaming platforms. But what do you think? Either about what is a good follower-free emote, or what do these other sites need to do to make the streaming platforms a little better? Before you buy this monitor mount, let me explain to you the pains of all the monitor mounts I've had and how you can make a better decision than I did. My desk is pretty small and thin, so when I got two monitors, it was taking up so much space with the default stand. I came across the gas spring mounts, but I didn't want to get it because it looks super heavy and I thought it was going to break my desk in half. Instead, I opted for this one. Personally, I had three problems with it. I don't like the setup. It was not able to hold up my future monitor, and if you want one of your monitors to just be a little higher, you're going to have to take off both monitors and set it up all over again, just so you avoid that stiffness. That made me never want to set it up again. In the gas spring mount, it comes with these beautiful slots, which I pray thank you to whoever invented them. What it does is that once you screw it in a little bit, you're able to slide it in, screw it on tighter, and then it holds it in place so you can place the other two screws so easily. And the most important thing is that I'm able to move it around. I can pull it all the way out, I can shift it up, even do this extreme rotation that I'm sure you'd be using. Since I'm able to place it higher, my neck posture is standing upright, and it comes with some other perks. But that depends on your price point, so I'm gonna leave some options below in the product link. At the end of the day, it is your desk setup. Make it how you like it. Do you like the monitor stand that comes with? Or do you like this one that I hate? Or the spring dual one? I created my own VTuber model and I gave her lots of different hairstyles. I wanted the ability to be able to change it up in VTube Studio. I can change up the length to make shorter, some things longer. This is how you can do it in Live 2D. When you rig your hair, you have a lot of different warp deformers for moving your hair. You want to go above all of that, very top, create a new warp deformer called length. And then I am going to create a new parameter, -1 to 1, with a default of 0. I'm going to take the brush selection tool, highlight only the bottom part, and then shape it to be exactly how I like it when it's long. I'm going to do the same thing when it's short, just I'm going to drag it up, again using that brush selection tool and just moving it up. Feel free to use anything to just shape it. You just don't want to adjust the very, very top. A way to check that you didn't move the top is just go to the brush selection tool and highlight the very top section. Make sure you're on default keyform 0, Ctrl-Shift-C, then go to a different keyform like 1 or -1 and press Ctrl-Shift-V. That'll shift all the points at the very top to match what they were in the default. I use the same method to rig the other hair strands like this one. You can see the way it stretches. This very top part isn't moving a lot. This is starting to move a bit. and it's just stretched down. When I want to make it super short, I just stretched it up. Again, this isn't really moving. Each hair that you want to be a different length needs to be on a separate parameter if you wanted to have control. Otherwise, if I put these two linked together, then they would always move together. You can't make one shorter or longer. It's all a preference. I'm doing some rendering today, and I had to look up the definition of what rendering means. Basically, when you're rendering, you're trying to give things a 3D effect. Highlights, textures, shadows, that type of thing. This is how my draft looks like. The top of the head is very much done. Upper body and lower body are not rendered. And so this is after yesterday's session of some rendering. This does not look rendered. I'm still struggling to figure out how to make it look nice. This is how it looks like underneath. I did the work, but it's not showing up here. I've always wanted to give it like a patchy look. So it has stitches, it has cut up parts. In the draft, you can see the top design of the corset, and I really like this look. I really do. But yeah, it's gone now. Reference, boom, tie, nice. And I had to force myself to learn how to draw these. I usually do several days of rendering because I need to look at it with fresh eyes the next day. Then it'll make me want to add more things, more details. It becomes more fuller that way. Because honestly, every time I render, I'm like, oh, this is done. It's not done. Hi, I make Vtuber models, and today I wanted to share with you a slime model that I am making. My full overview is on YouTube, but let's go over how to make it so bouncy. When animating body Y physics, what I was thinking about was a ball. Take a ball, and when you are animating it, when it squishes down, it expands horizontally and is squished vertically. The opposite happens when you go up. It comes in horizontally, but it is longer. Everything that you see is still body X physics and body Y physics. Having it on a physics parameter and then connecting it to body X, Y, and Z angle helps you retain more ability in like adjusting the shaking, adjusting the duration, more of a fluid motion rather than a rigid motion. For the liquid, on body X physics, I made it move left and right. Water Y, you see it come up and down. And then for water X, it's like a wave. When the darker side of the liquid is up, the lighter side is up on the opposite end, and it just switches. Here are 4 ways you can make your expressions a little bit more interesting. Now, a common expression on a VTuber model is this dark forehead, yikes, where the hue makes the top of the head just look a little bit darker. This is all good and fun, but a way to just up it up a little bit is by also taking the shine and light away from your VTuber's eyes. You can even just completely leave their eyes empty. Got nothing left to fight for. Whatever they just saw is so sickening. Now, this one's pretty common. It moves with my mouth X. I have this tablet, so it follows me left and right, right? The reflection is in the eye of the model. So if you have something that's reflective, like a phone or a tablet, you see my pupils here? You can drop it in to where the pupils are, so I didn't have to re-rig it. Also, for the tablet, there's this breathing glowing effect. It dims out and lights back up. I do that for everything that glows on the model. I know some of these things are pretty common, but I forgot to add these little subtle things that can make the rig even better. Please let me know if any of these were helpful or if you have any tips. Are you interested in VTuber models or why they are so expensive? Well, let me take you through the long process of creating this. Yeah, just an eye blink. First, we're going to go through the process of how to separate all the parts for this to move smoothly. So as you can see, all of the parts are having some type of physics. They're jiggling around somehow, just like how the model on this hair jiggles. So let's reconstruct the eye back together. We have the eyeshadow line at the top, separated from the actual eyeshadow, which you do not need to do. I like to do it for some control. Then we bring in the main eye line, the side eye line, and the bottom eye line. We have the bottom eyeshadow as well. After that is the sclera, the iris, the pupils, and all the shinies at the top with all the little inside shinies as well. I definitely recommend separate the outside shinies. You do not need to separate the inside shinies, but if you want some more bounce, that's a good addition. I also have a shadow for the main line. After that comes the eyelashes at the top and the bottom. And then we can bring in the eyebrow shadow with the eyebrow at the top. And there you have it. That's how you make some crazy eyeball physics. As for expenses, imagine doing that for the entire moving body. Creating an eye blink tutorial was harder than I thought. It's like each time I try to explain it, it goes from 10 minutes to 20 minutes. So I'm going to be covering it super basic here. And if you want a tutorial, it doesn't leave anything out, go to my YouTube channel and I'll have it there. Now we have the art category, the animation category, and the physics category. Art is done in part 1. Animation has 3 steps: eye close, eye wide open, and eye smile. We will just be doing eye close. Step 1, put everything on one of your eyes into a warp deformer. Art meshes need its own video, so just do Control A, auto, preset, standard. The main lash is very important, so we'll want to do it ourselves. Select your main lash and click on edit art mesh. Click on the pen tool. Instead of drawing, make dots. Make sure it has 3 vertices. Change the mesh width and repeated density so that it looks something like this. Then go back and add some points on anything that wasn't captured. Click auto connect. Click for division. Now we want to have our guided lines. Click this button that looks like an arch with a circle in the middle. Make a point at both ends outside of the container, 2 within it, and 1 in the middle. If you go back and click on the select tool, we can move it around very easily. Now let's animate. Go to your eye open parameter. When we select a point, whatever we move is going to stay like that. So let's say your parameter is from 0 to 2. Then you can hit the 3 dots. It'll make these 3 green points. Now let's start with the main lash. Hit your 3 dots and move your slider from this middle position all the way to the end at 0. Move your main lash all the way so it looks like it's 3/4 of the way down and there's still some white showing at the bottom. And we'll just want to move everything around it to make it look natural. So all the top lashes go down. Move all the bottom lashes together. Makes it nicer. Your side lash can be another lash if you'd like sticking out, or you can just hide it. For the sclera, we want to squish it down. Hold Alt and drag it down. Then using the guided lines, just shape it around the lash. The eyeshadow at the top moves down and you want to keep this curvature looking thing. And the bottom eyeshadow moves up. I like to put guided lines so that I can shape it around the lash. And you should have a finished eye close, but we can make it look a little bit better. This next tip I learned from Yoshino Art. They have a great eye tutorial. Go to the middle of your parameter. Now slide it down till you see it halfway closed and you like it. Right click, hit this drop down, hit select. You want to do this at the end because everything is going to be captured here. So Control Shift C. Then we double click on the parameter, put a point in point 3, and we're going to hit Control Shift V. This basically ensures that we have a pretty halfway close, but you see how it's still wonky. We're going to clean it up. Just make sure everything's connecting. The sclera looks nice. There's nothing sticking out anywhere. Then we just do some more cleanups, shifting from point 3 to 0. There you go. That is eye close. We got 1/3 of it done. Thank you for sticking around. Comment a blue heart if you made it all the way to the end. Made a mistake, a big one. Now, I don't want to make excuses, but when you are making a 5D VTuber model, you tend to animate one eye. Once you're done, you copy it over and reflect it. Make sure to hit eyeball X. But for characters like Fossilores that has heterochromia, you're going to want to do this additional step. Go to the eye that requires an eye color change. Now click on the items that need a color change and put it under a warp deformer. With your warp deformer selected, you can change your color by using multiply color or screen color. And if you make a mistake, don't worry, you can hit reset. And ta-da! There you go. Now we have a character with different colored eyes, and we have a more accurate Fossilores VTuber model. Big shout out to Ace Christ for catching this mistake. Do not be like me and over-rig, over-animate when the process can be done in seconds, especially with the magical power of glue. When I created my first full-body VTuber model, V-Bridger had just come out. So I was super excited to create a mouth that was more complex. What I wasn't excited for is that I had a top lip and a bottom lip. And I didn't use glue, so I painstakingly had to rig, funnel, the pucker, every little detail. You know what I did this time around? I glued that bottom lipstick to the bottom line. Let's go over how you can glue this bottom lip and save yourself a headache. In order to use glue, you need to have your mesh lines matching up similarly so we can bind them together. For my bottom line, I like to make it a straight line that I then later shape so that then I can connect it to anything I want to glue very easily. So first step is to make your art meshes match up. Bottom line, it needs to match up with the lip. You can then select both of them, edit your mesh, use this lasso tool to grab everything, click glue, and bind. After you're done, go to your glue settings and make sure to color it whatever the color is for the line. So for me, it was red. Now you can shape your line and the bottom lip will follow. Are you someone that wants to rig a VTuber model? Now we know we can look at YouTube videos, but there are other ways that you can learn. Personally, I love demonstration files. For the free option, you can go to Live2D website, click up here Learn, and click on free samples. They have so many samples to choose from. I really want to learn from riggers that I love. So someone like Just Novash has a very good guide for mouth rigging. Stick to the end of this video if you want to know a little secret. Depending on where you are on your rigging journey, there's a simple mouth guide, a complex mouth, and a V-bridger guide. I started with the complex mouth guide because I like to struggle until I just get it right. Keep in mind, it is not for beginners. I did have a general understanding of warp deformers and hierarchy. And to be honest, they explain it so well that I did not feel lost during this tutorial. The V-bridger mouth guide is something that's similar to what I'm using right now. So the simple mouth and complex mouth, all you need will be your VTube Studio app or whatever else. The V-bridger mouth is specifically for using the V-bridger app alongside your VTube Studio app. Now for the secret. Until November 25th, these are on sale for 30% off. I personally bought them at full price and I think it was so worth it. This is going to an artist who's incredible, and I know that you too will create incredible models. So good luck on your journey, and I hope this helps. 2024 and you still have been telling yourself that you're not good enough to start doing art. Now this is the cold hard truth. I have never seen a child for their first drawing draw like this. I'm a strong believer that that talent isn't something that you're born with. There are kids that draw that well, but it's not their first drawing. Don't lie to me. But it's most likely that your favorite artist got there just from practicing a lot. For me, it was being motivated on a specific goal. I started creating a VTuber when I was not confident at all. A couple months before creating my first VTuber, I had floating face syndrome. I did not know how to fit a face into a head. So I was practicing drawing, but only to the point that I was comfortable. If you're contemplating making a VTuber model because you're not satisfied with your art, I really encourage you trying it out. Making a VTuber model teaches you everything. You can't just draw clothes. You have to draw what's behind it. It may take time. Whenever we want something, the want will still be there in the future, and you'll feel like, wish I started it a year earlier. I know that's how I felt. It's important to celebrate your efforts. Putting something on paper, that act in itself is not easy. Adding the Gojo toggle has come with some consequences. Oh no, guys! You know what time it is.
Say hi, Chad. I'm screen recording you. Hi, hi, hi.
Guys, the kids miss you. Please find the milk.
I'm so sorry. I've been looking at this aisle forever. Like, I can't choose. I think I'm gonna be stuck here for another 3 years.
I drew the murders that murdered me on Roblox, and as I was editing the clips for YouTube Shorts, there was a really cute avatar. A little Hatsune Miku! Oh my gosh, you're so cute! Of course, I had to draw it. Here she is in all her cuteness. She gave her Roblox arms, not as an excuse to not draw hands, of course not. Still in a very doodle state because I need to sleep. But if you want to see more Roblox character drawings, I have them on my YouTube page. Hi, I went on a 5-day journey to draw a better head. You see, it's not something I like practicing. I used to draw people with no heads because I wanted to avoid drawing the face as much as possible. Thus, I got more comfortable drawing hair and clothes, anything but the head. And that stops today. In my latest video, I tried to analyze what I struggled with the most, and I put any guide I used in the bio so you can learn with me. But it's been a couple days since then, and I wanted to share 2 additional tips. I noticed that some beginner artists tend to draw really small. I did it too. Use up that entire canvas. If you're someone that likes to draw really big eyes, it's gonna end up looking really weird if you draw a small head. And the second tip was not throwing away what I am comfortable and happy doing. I thought that starting by drawing the eyes was a bad thing, and I should draw the head first. But I liked the head that I drew with that method because I liked that after I knew how wide I needed to make the chin. I then fixed it up using the other guidelines that I learned, and if you want to see that, you can find the entire video on my YouTube channel. Now, for those of you that come to my stream, I want to give a short message to you. I am very sorry that I am not able to stream right now. A lot of stuff has been happening, and I wanted to today, but now I'm dealing with my monitors turning off randomly. So if you want to keep up with me, I am going to be posting on YouTube and TikTok. When things are more settled, I can go back to... Hi, quick VTuber tip. You see the little blue right next to my eye, just the tiny little bit of blue. That happens when you don't lay out your texture atlas correctly. Let me show you the mistake. So up there you see my parts of my model. So all of these are moving parts. Here is the sclera, meaning the white of my eye. It's touching this blue flame. And thus, every time it did that, it kind of like glued it together in a way, so you can see just a bit of it on my eye. Just want to make sure that all of these parts are separated from each other. So I just moved it over here. It's touching nothing, and it is fixed. I wanted to let y'all know because I was like confused on what the heck that was. So now when I export it and I put it back in here, this thing will be gone. It'll be perfect. Now you can see it is gone.